glass and pry marks, in addition to several hand tools in Liebel's vehicle. After conducting an investigation on scene, including reviewing surveillance footage, Liebel made several attempts to pry open the locked doors using the hand tools in an attempt to gain entry to the store. Liebel was placed under arrest and transported back to the Plainfield Police Department, where he was charged with criminal mischief and criminal attempt to commit burglary. Liebel was held on a $15,000 bond. A Ledyard patrol officer observed a female failing to stop at a four-way stop sign and then continue north on Colonel Ledyard Highway towards Norwich. The officer was able to catch up to the vehicle and conducted a motor vehicle stop in the area of Thomas Road. During the motor vehicle stop, the officer requested license, registration, and insurance. The officer then requested the operator get out of the vehicle, in which she refused to exit the motor vehicle at the officer request. A struggle did take place between officers and the operator, who was taken into custody. During the investigation, it was discovered that the operator provided a false name due to her license being suspended, and also a felony warrant out of the city of Norwich. 22-year-old Ariana Moore of Norwich was processed at the Ledyard Police Department and then released on a $10,000 bond, just to be sent to the Norwich Police Department due to a warrant for home invasion, third-degree assault, risk of injury to a minor, and unlawful restraint. The 8 a.m. news has been brought to you by Dish Car Sales of Franklin. 30 years of satisfied customers. Don't just wish, make it Dish. SN Internet Radio weather is being brought to you by Dean's Corner Diner, Main Street, Jewett City. Call them and have your order ready for pickup, 860-376-9141. Are you looking to make a smart choice today? Well, if you are, then choose to get breakfast or lunch today at Dean's Corner Diner in Jewett City. Whether it's eggs, pancakes, burgers, or homemade soup, Dean's Corner Diner is always a smart choice. Call and order ahead by calling 860-376-9141. Dean is open 7 days a week, so come in, mask up, and eat up. Dean's Corner Diner, Main Street, Jewett City.
All right, good morning. Here is the forecast right now with Paul Lash. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, and good morning, Jewett City. Right now, the temperature downtown Jewett City right now is 27 degrees. Overcast with rain showers at times today. Highs will be around 42 degrees. However, there could be some wind around between 10 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, some clouds this evening will give way to mainly clear skies, lows around 24. For your Saturday, it's going to be generally sunny, high around 38 degrees. Sunday, here we go again, folks.
Yes!
Periods of snow, highs around 34 degrees. However, accumulation of snow could be anywhere between 3 to 5 inches. For your Monday, mainly sunny, skies around, highs around 28 degrees. And that's your weather from SNSN on this Friday, 02/05. 2021.
I love your music.
The flagship for Griswold Sports. Online and on your mobile device.
SNSN.
That's right, the flagship for Griswold Sports. You know why? Because high school basketball will be starting once again right here on SNSN Internet Radio via video. It's going to be broadcast on our Facebook page as well as our YouTube page. So that will be starting February 12th. With Griswold taking on Killingly. That'll be our first game of the year, and it'll sure as hell being fun to doing sports again, Paul.
Yeah, you probably forgot how.
Huh?
You probably forgot how.
It's going to be.
You got to be retrained.
I don't know if it's retrained, but you know how it's when you haven't done something for a long time,
mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden, boom, you're kind of thrust back into the situation again.
It's called rusty.
Yeah. I'm telling you so. All right, we are live right now on Facebook and our YouTube page. As always, we ask you to please click like on the broadcast if you're on YouTube, or if you're not on YouTube, go on over to YouTube and click subscribe or whatever, because we want to know what you guys want, what you guys like to listen to as far as local information. I mean, my goodness, we're all over the place lately. doing different things, everything from medical personnel to time travelers.
I know.
A little bit of everything.
Everything.
So I think tomorrow, Monday, we're going to have a question with you with Viagra. Speaking about Rusty and getting thrown back and thrust into things.
Yeah, that could be some hard questions.
There you wow. Oh, Paul, for that, I got to tell you, you get a round of applause for that. Yeah. Congratulations, Paul. There you go. All right. Enough of the tomfoolery. Let's start right on in. We have a gentleman here from the Jewett City Fire Department with us. His name is Rich Waselik. Good morning, Rich. How are you?
How are you?
Good, man. You're looking pretty dapper in your Jewett City Fire Department garb.
Thank you.
Well, you see that, and that's kind of
I
part
thought
of the.
there was a parade this morning.
Is it a holiday? Did we miss something here?
Every Friday's a holiday for me.
One of the things kind of we're talking about is like men in uniform. Chicks dig it.
Chicks dig it.
They do. They absolutely do.
They do.
That's why we're alone, Paul. You and me.
I don't worry. No.
We do. Wait, Paul.
Yeah.
You want to walk the dogs?
That's
Sit in the park bench for
That's
7 or
enough.
8 hours.
the next thing.
I'll bring the bird food. We'll just sit there and talk about our woes. Make a movie called Grumpy Old Men. Oh, they did that already. All right, Rich is here from the Jewett City Fire Department. This is something that we have planned. We had planned for quite a while now. Hi, Rich. How long? About a month or so?
At least.
So you can take a look. First of all, right on the bottom, Rich's email address is there. And if you want to become a Jewett City Fire Department volunteer fireman, and that's one of the things we're going to talk about this morning. But before we get that, let's see. You're going to say good morning to Paul, Laura, and then there's this lady. I think she's a stalker. Her name's Kathy. She goes, I dig it. You know her?
I think a little bit.
A little bit. So, the Jewett City Fire Department is kind of, can we say members are depleting?
Oh, everywhere. All over the country.
Everywhere?
All over the country. It's a nationwide problem.
Okay. Why do you think that is?
Well, one of the major issues are the time. And not only that, but the cost of living has gone up dramatically everywhere. So the amount of time that people have to volunteer is greatly gone down because they're working 2-3 jobs, as well as the national requirement for certification has gone up dramatically, even since I started in 1994. One of the things that we're trying to work on is the way to get that training completed in a way that's going to make it more time friendly for everybody.
So what kind of training, like let's say a 21-year-old young lady wants to come in, what kind of, or man, doesn't matter, what kind of training is involved? Where do they start?
Well, honestly, one of the biggest things that people forget are you don't have to be a man to volunteer as a firefighter. Right. Some of the best firefighters I know, like this one in the city of New London, where I dispatched for almost 20 years, and she's officer over an old line fire department as a volunteer, as well as a full-time firefighter in New London, and she's one of the best firefighters any man will tell you exists. So the woman can't be afraid to join the fire department. That's one of the biggest things. To be a firefighter, you need to be willing to put the time in. It is time consuming a little bit, but number one thing that we always stress is your family comes first. So we do understand that. That's something that has to be understood right off the bat, but also to be a firefighter, you have to do, I think the firefighter one class is about 120 hours minimum. And the EMT class is, one I'm teaching right now, is almost 200 hours.
So 120 hours really isn't a whole lot, really, if you think about it. It sounds like, 120 hours. Oh my God.
Well, it's not 120 hours a week. It's 120,
120 hours
for
right.
overtime.
Right.
And if you're doing it nightly,
right,
that's a lot of time.
It's a lot of classes are 2 nights a week and one.
It's like taking a class in college.
Yeah, one weekend day. Yeah. But I think one of the things we're trying to work on is making it like my EMT class. I understood that right off the bat, being a family man myself and working full time and everything.
Yeah.
And I work alternating shifts, so I teach the EMT class one night a week.
Yeah.
And so but it's stretched out over a longer period of time.
Yeah. Plus, I think in the olden days, a father would belong to the fire department, and his son or daughter would follow through and also become a member.
Yep.
That seems to be going away now. The kids don't seem to be interested in being anything.
Well, it takes away from them playing Minecraft.
Right. And that's one of the biggest things we're finding is the younger generation, they don't necessarily believe in volunteering as much. That's not hardened into them as much as it was when we were growing up.
Right.
So that's one of the things I want to reach out to is the high school maybe or the town to say, hey, let's get us into the high school. Let's get us recruiting the kids and get them wanting to volunteer more. And my son just joined up and he's he's 15.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a junior firefighter.
He's a junior, correct.
Okay. So what does a junior do?
Well, right now, this Saturday, we're actually teaching a junior class. I have 2 guys in the junior program right now, 3. 2 are active right now. And we're going to be going over fire behavior for a couple hours. So, it's 2 hours out of their Saturday morning. They get up early. One of them rides his bike to the firehouse. So, it's a great thing for them, not only getting them out exercising and riding their bike to the firehouse, but they're also doing something educational for the public. They helped out with the food drive down the road,
right?
The toy drive, everything. So
one thing I do notice with people that like talking to speaking to Paul's point, dad would be in it, then the sons or the daughters would join in as well. To me, it always seemed like a really cool club to belong to because the people that were in the fire department, they were pretty much in there for life.
Yeah.
They're always there. There was a guy that I don't know, this was a long time ago. I don't know if you remember him, but he's moved up to New Hampshire since then. His name is John West. And he was a member of the fire department here. And oh my God, he lived and breathed the fire department, with his scanner, he had a pager, and all that stuff. But he did it because he cared.
Right.
And what's one of the biggest reasons you find that kids or even adults decide to join as a volunteer fire department fireman with the JCFD?
Well, I know one of the biggest things we find are people want to join just because they think it's a great thing to do. One of the biggest things that as a kid I think they enjoy is the excitement, and then they come in and like, oh, I have to wash a fire truck. I have to check the equipment. I have to learn stuff. Oh, I just wanted to get into the exciting stuff. But then after a while, they start to learn that all these educational things they take on really get them involved in working with everybody else. So the family environment is one of the biggest things that we strive to show. And just hanging out, talking, just learning and training. They don't realize a lot of the time in the beginning that that's just a part of getting to know everybody and getting them to trust you and bringing them in. And they want to know.
I would think there would have to be a mutual trust, especially if you get into a dangerous situation. You have to be able to be there for each other.
Right, 100%. Like one of the guys I was working with recently, we were in a structure fire last year and we were going in to put the fire out in Griswold, and he started yelling to me to get out because the stairs were starting to collapse behind us. So that trust that you have to have with somebody, knowing they have your back, is great. But that's one of the things not only do you bring in the firehouse, that's something that also carries on outside of the firehouse.
Yeah.
So that's one of the best
The
things.
camaraderie.
The family.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like we have picnics together at my house for a picnic, and so everybody gets to know each other. It's one of the best things, and you create a community inside the community.
Yeah.
So,
it's kind of like Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts.
well,
No, I don't mean. I mean talking about the camaraderie and stuff like that.
yeah, exactly. And a lot of fire departments, the junior programs are developed out of the Boy Scouts. It's a part of the Boy Scouts.
Well, it's like Al Gear. I've seen how many times. Well, he's shown us pictures of when he was with the fire department 30, 40 years ago. Yeah. Doing his thing because he's been in the borough, pretty much his entire life, and you get to see the pictures of the old trucks and stuff like that. And now he was, I think a few years ago, he was granted membership for life.
Life membership, correct? Yep.
So that's really good. So you talk about time, and you talk about, that it does take time to do this, and it can be, I mean, taken away from family, and younger kids could be taken away from their activities, if they can, make the calls. How many calls do you actually go on, say in a week or a month?
Honestly, it fluctuates.
Average,
It fluctuates. I think for the year, I think we were up to almost 500.
Wow.
Jewish City is also, I mean, one of the things people have to understand also is there's Jewish City Fire Department, there's Griswold Fire Department. They were under the same town, however, they're different departments. The budgets are all under the same town, but we don't always go to the same calls. So the Jewish City will go to a medical call separate from Griswold. But when it comes to a structure fire per se, we do not, both departments go at the same time.
Sure.
So I think the busiest day that we've had here in Jewish City, we did 10 calls maybe.
Wow.
In one day. However, with the pandemic, the call volume medically seems to have gone down a little bit.
Yeah. Plus, I think too, with people, there's not a lot of people that you have to work in town, because you really can't. If you're working in Hartford, you can respond to a fire.
Exactly. Right.
And that's the other problem you have, is people have to be living here locally in order to respond.
Right. I mean, you can live in Lisbon and be a member here, close by, Plainfield. However, right. If you're living in another town for 20 minutes away, like I came from Oakdale. I was a captain in Oakdale before I moved to Jewish City with my wife. And it became too much. Like I made a structure fire in Oakdale, and it took me 20 minutes to get there though.
Yeah. Right.
So I ended up helping with operations and stuff, but I wasn't necessarily one of the first people in.
Yeah.
Jewish City, I work in London. I'm Waterford for 20 years, and I worked in Waterford, so I'm not going to make a call out here.
Sure.
So, well, we do have a lot of people that are firefighters and other, like career-wise. They'll make it during the day. If I'm home during the day, because I work midnights a lot, then I'll be here during the day. But one of the hardest times we have for people to get to calls is during the day. So we need a lot of people that are going to be available during the day.
Right.
Kelly says, my son is on the Plainfield Fire Department, but he also works for Moose Up Ambulance. 15 years, started at 15 there as well. She says it's great for kids, which is really what you're saying as well.
Yes. It brings a lot of discipline, structure. And honestly, I always try and stress, we're not going to be able to do this forever. We need the generation after us to step up and start pulling some of the reins.
Ultimately, what's going to happen if no volunteers come forward? Now it becomes a paid.
Well, you're jumping around here. I know where you're going with that. But I wanted to stay on the kids for a minute.
Sure.
Before we get into that, do you get sometimes referrals for? And I know of one or two of like troubled kids.
Never, I haven't yet.
No, I mean, they come into the program and then find their way, through the.
Sure. Yeah, that's very well. Yeah, I've seen that. Not necessarily here because I've only been here a few years, but other departments, I've definitely heard that.
So it's for everybody.
Yeah, it's 100% for everybody. One of my biggest mottos are, there's a place for everybody. If you don't want to be a firefighter, you can be an EMS person only. If you don't want to be an EMS person or a firefighter, you can be fire police or an auxiliary. My wife's an auxiliary member. She comes and helps out with fundraisers. So there's things for everybody to do.
It's a family affair.
Right.
It can be.
Yeah.
So, Paul, go ahead. I know where you were going to go with that.
Well, what's eventually going to happen if you don't get volunteers to come forward? Then you have to have a fire department in a town.
Yes.
So what does that mean? That means now budgets are going to have to increase so that you have at least some paid firemen that live in town and can respond.
Lisbon actually just went
they do have some
paid staff during the day.
Yeah.
And I don't think people understand what that does to your tax base.
Oh yeah.
You're talking $150,000 minimum probably for one paid staff person.
Oh yeah. I mean, and you got to have them. You cannot have any firemen in town. That's for sure.
And a lot of those paid staff for departments like Lisbon, I think was it Scotland or Canterbury.
Yeah, I know Lisbon has two.
Two a day. They hired a staff for like 10.
Oh, really?
Give or take.
Okay.
But they're only working on their days off. So there were actually people that work in like career firefighters or other people that can come in and work as a firefighter on their days off, and they're all part-time.
Yeah.
And they're all great guys. So
Yeah.
the problem is, though, that you're increasing your tax base. So a lot of these departments like Montville, they ride on the backs of the volunteers.
Oh, yeah.
So-
And that's been going on for years,
Mhm.
volunteer fire.
And I think,
department.
honestly, no matter how many volunteers you bring in, you're going to end up seeing pay levels increase every year, I believe, everywhere. But
Oh, yeah.
What are the incentives like to be a volunteer fire department
Right.
member here in Jewett City?
So it's a funny question because I grew up starting in the time when there was no such thing as an incentive other than liking to help out.
Yeah.
But now,
Here you
obviously,
go, kid. Here's a root beer.
I did actually live in the firehouse for years as well, a long time ago. So that's
Really?
one-
Really?
Yeah, one incentive. You can. You
Were
can't
you
use it.
homeless, or I mean,
I was a kid, so yeah.
really?
But I mean, I got out on my own. It's a great way to start you learning how to live out on your own. Because I called my parents for a ride.
Yeah.
Because my car broke. They're like, sorry, you don't live here anymore. Figure it out. But you learn how to live out on your own. Take care of yourself. Learn responsibility. But fire departments don't let you do that anymore.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were starting to use it as their primary residence. There's still one in other departments, other places where they'll live there full time. But you don't just live there. You take care of the building. You're expected to go on calls all night, even before you go to work in the morning. So that is your primary responsibility.
Yeah. I mean, the television is really playing up now to the fire departments and emergency. There's a couple of shows now on television, 911s that
Sure.
show the fire departments and how they live in and how they cook their meals. And
Yeah, and that's all true.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all realistic. Other
And
than
it
the
shows-
fires.
Yep.
But yeah, it's all realistic.
And Paul, it is sexy to become a fireman these days
because of the uniform.
because of the uniform. And I hate to say it like this, but ever since 9/11,
Mhm.
especially, when first responders really started to get the recognition
Yeah.
that they have always deserved and never really got. And then, of course, everybody could see what first responders were doing
Right.
as a result of that tragedy.
Mhm.
And now it's like, what you guys got to do is put on the badge, the shirt, and it's like, hey, girl.
But we're talking age limit, young kids. But what would be the high end of the age that somebody could volunteer? Maybe there's somebody 30 or 40 years old. that wants-
I'm 42, and I'm starting to feel it already. To be honest with
Really?
you. But there is no real age limit.
So if I wanted to join, I could go, but I'd probably end up dropping for fire.
Well, no. Like I said, there's a job for everybody.
Stop, drop, and roll, Grandpa. Stop, drop, and roll, Grandpa.
I think one of the biggest misnomer is you can't do anything when you get too old. You can't do anything because you're not able to go what they call interior, which means go inside a burning building. But there's plenty of jobs outside that have to be done. We have things called safety officers where they make sure they look around. You take a class, it's a shorter class. and you look around and you
Good
make
for you,
sure
Paul.
there's not anything outside that's going to injure anybody, or make sure things people are doing because in the heat of the moment aren't going to hurt them. So you're kind of like the eyes and ears of safety for everybody on the fire scene.
Paul's thinking. Paul's thinking.
We also have people that are fire police, which don't necessarily mean you can arrest anybody,
Right.
but you
Traffic duty
block,
and
you block the road.
yeah.
Some of them
make-
need training, though. I've run into a few of them that almost killed them. I mean, they just stand in the middle of the road like, you can't do that.
You're talking about like Alan Gear when he's here.
Yeah.
He's rehabbing his leg right now.
Okay.
In parts unknown, and
Actually, I've seen Alan around. Yeah.
not lately.
Not lately, but
No.
for some of the parades and some of the special events.
So the last time I saw him was in that capacity with the fire department
Mhm.
was over on East Main Street
When the house burned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he hurt his leg and he's been out.
Mhm.
Ben Sapansky.
Yes.
Ben has got to be close to 80, if
Yeah.
not already 80.
Mm-hmm.
And he's up, but he does a lot of things. He does that. He works with the registrar of voters. Him and his wife Doris stay very, very
Mhm.
active. So Paul, there's definitely, Paul, you got a truck.
Yeah.
You get the blue light.
Well,
you got a
not
blue
only-
truck.
And I was saying there's jobs for everybody. Not only Ben does that, but he's also he's the cleaner at the fire department. He cleans the fire
He
department.
lives right
during
across the
week.
street.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But see, Paul. So there's another gentleman too. I don't know his name.
Chuck.
Like maybe I don't know.
Chuck's a taller, older.
No, this
gentleman.
guy's a shorter guy.
Oh, Ian.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's kind of crabby. He's like, carry on, get out of the way. No, I'm just trying to find out. Get on out of here. all right, buddy. No problem. You have a good day. Can I bring you a coffee? You try to brown nose him a little bit. Try to get that doesn't work with him. He's pretty
a serious guy.
Yeah, but he takes it seriously.
Yes.
So that's a good
one thing to understand is if they don't get their job done, we have people driving in the scenes and killing people. We have people getting in that aren't supposed to be there and stuff, taking pictures and videos of stuff they're not supposed to be. So they were protectors of the scene. That's why they're called fire police.
Sure.
But
see, Paul, there's there's something legitimately that if you wanted to join, you could assist with.
Well,
you're waiting for the joke to drop.
No,
I'm not.
no, I spent a lot of years working storm duty when I was there before. So
one of other Mike, Mike Krause, who's here at the station. He is he's part of the Plainfield department.
Okay.
And he's fire police. And he's been in the fire department for years.
And fire police are probably one of the lesser known charms or diamonds of the fire service, because when we clear a scene and the emergency aspect is over, they're still there sometimes for hours.
Yeah.
So they don't really get the gratitude that they deserve.
Yeah. I don't think any of the first responders get the gratitude that they deserve, to be honest with you. They really don't. They really don't. All right. It is 8:30. We're going to break for the news. We're going to talk some more with Rich. You're going to hang out for a bit?
Whenever, as long as you need. I'm off today.
All right.
So.
Oh, jeez. Well, all right. Well, how much time you got?
I got to take my son to school at 2.
That works out perfect. All right. We're going to break for the news. And we will be back in just a minute to talk to Rich Waselik from the Jewett City Fire Department. And we're going to keep him here long enough, Paul, so we can see how he fares on Stump the Chump.
ooh,
So
I'm a chump, so don't worry about it.
No, I'm the chumpiest. So what is Stump the Chump on this week?
that's a mixed bag.
Mixed bag.
True and false stuff.
True or mouse?
All right.
So I will be the one that will always be 50% wrong on those. I'm just never good at those. So that's all coming up. Boy, we have your listening and viewing day already set. Folks, brew yourself a cappuccino, get a bonbon or a sandwich, sit down, enjoy the show. We're going to talk more with Rich Waselik from the Jewett City Fire Department right after the news brought to you by the Burns Agency in Dadeville and in Norwich, right here on SNSN Internet Radio.
The 8:30 a.m. report on SNSN is brought to you by the Burns Agency. With offices in Dadeville and Norwich, find out why you'll buy better at Burns.
You buy better.
Better with Burns.
Much better.
So much better with Burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better with Burns.
You buy better at Burns. You buy better.
It's a new season, and the Burns Agency wants to remind you of a few precautions you can take to keep safe this season. It's a great time to make sure your chimney is serviced before the chestnuts start roasting. Before that Thanksgiving turkey drops in the deep fryer, be sure all smoke detectors are in working order. Let's clean out the gutters and properly dispose of our combustibles. Make space for our shovels, scrapers, and driveway salts. Last but not least, give the Burns Agency a chance to review your current coverage for any cost-saving opportunity or policy enhancements your current plan might be missing. Call, email, chat us online. The Burns Agency, proudly serving Eastern Connecticut since 1932.
Right insurance at the right price. You buy better at Burns.
You buy better at Burns. You buy better.
Here's a look at your local news headlines on SNSN Internet Radio. Governor Ned Lamont announced recently the launch of new services at the Connecticut Department of Motor Vehicles that will enable residents to renew their driver's licenses and non-driver ID cards online without having to visit an office in person. The announcement is part of the governor's broader initiative to modernize state government and add more convenience for residents by making services available online. The DMV's new online renewal option has already been offered to residents whose driver's licenses and non-driver IDs have expired within the last 45 days. As part of the soft launch of the new service during the last 2 months, more than 20,000 individuals have already successfully renewed online. The Griswold Senior Center announced that they received notification from the Gemma Moran Food Pantry that there will be a food box distribution on Friday, February 5th. That's today. The food drive will start at 9:30 in the morning on Friday. The Senior Center is also looking for volunteers to help bring food boxes to residents who can't get them. Now, there is no paperwork to fill out and no qualification process. The line will start to form by coming through the Senior Center parking lot on Sewell Street. Staff will be there to direct you on which way to go, since this distribution will have 2 separate lines to speed up the process. According to the information, there will be approximately 500 food boxes that will be given away, and it will be on a first come, first serve basis. Remember, it starts this morning at 9:30 at the Griswold Senior Center on Sewell Street in Jewett City. Silver Alert was listed for a 15-year-old Dayville youth, Emmanuel Potaz, is said to be 15, blonde hair, blue eyes, 6'2" and 250 pounds. He's been missing since February 4th, and he was last seen wearing a black hooded sweatshirt, sweatpants, sneakers, and a backpack. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Emmanuel Potaz, please contact Connecticut State Police at Troop D 860-779-4900. Early morning, February 3rd at about 2:26 a.m., members of Plainfield Police responded to Sam's Food Store on Main Street in Moosup for the report of a suspicious male trying to get into the building. Upon arriving on scene, the individual was identified as 34-year-old Jeffrey Liebel of Levittown, Pennsylvania. Officers observed damage to the front doors of the store, including cracked glass and pry marks, in addition to several hand tools in Liebel's vehicle. After conducting an investigation on scene, including reviewing surveillance footage, Liebel made several attempts to pry open the locked doors using the hand tools in an attempt to gain entry to the store. Liebel was placed under arrest and transported back to the Plainfield Police Department, where he was charged with criminal mischief and criminal attempt to commit burglary. Liebel was held on a $15,000 bond. Alleged patrol officer observed a female failing to stop at a 4-way stop sign and then continue north on Colonel Edward Highway towards Norwich. The officer was able to catch up to the vehicle and conducted a motor vehicle stop in the area of Thomas Road. During the motor vehicle stop, the officer requested license, registration, and insurance. The officer then requested the operator get out of the vehicle, in which she refused to exit the motor vehicle at the officer request. A struggle did take place between officers and the operator, who was taken into custody. During the investigation, it was discovered that the operator provided a false name due to her license being suspended, and also a felony warrant out of the city of Norwich. 22-year-old Ariana Moore of Norwich was processed at the Ledyard Police Department and then released on a $10,000 bond, just to be sent to the Norwich Police Department due to a warrant for home invasion, third-degree assault, risk of injury to a minor, and unlawful restraint.
The 8:30 a.m. report has been brought to you by the Burns Agency, with offices in Dayville and Norwich. Find out why you'll buy better at Burns.
Okay, it's 8:38. Let's take a look at the forecast right now with Paul Lash.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. And right now, the temperature downtown Jewett City is 28 degrees. However, there's a little change right now from the weather. It says freezing rain this morning, changing to rain showers. So
yes,
little change going on since the early forecast. Highs will be around 41 degrees. But tonight, partly cloudy skies, lows around 24.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Some people do.
See, he's not wearing headphones.
Yeah.
He can't.
Okay, so for tomorrow, mostly sunny skies. Highs will be around 38.
And then I can go ahead and I can censor Paul. Ready?
Yeah. Same to you, buddy. For your Sunday, well, guess what? That's right. That it's coming. More snow will transition to the after 3 to 5 inches of snow is expected. And for your Monday, well, it's going to be sunny. High around 20.
All right, I'm done.
High around 28 degrees. And that's your weather on this Friday, 02/05/2021.
I ended up giving you the round of applause.
Oh, yeah, you did all right.
But before we continue, let's play this.
Streaming 24/7. Saluting our healthcare professionals. Thank you.
Streaming news and sports network.
All right, welcome back to the show. We are talking here to Rich Waselik from the Jewett City Fire Department. My name is Mike. His name is Paul. Welcome. It's Friday morning. Don't forget, a little bit later on this morning, from 10 to 11, we will be back with Jim Barney as we do our Friday talk show thing with After Breakfast.
Right.
So that's what we do.
Excellent.
Excellent. Yep. Muy excelente. All right, let's talk about a couple of more things, and then we want to see just how smart Rich is.
Oh boy.
So one of the things we kind of touched on a little bit with the Jewett City Fire Department, didn't really get into that much, but it would be nice if you can go ahead and describe a little bit more. What is the Jewett City Fire Department, as when you're a volunteer, there is an incentive program.
There is. The town,
What is that all about?
Well, it's kind of, I'll try and keep it simple because it's formulas and math, and I just barely passed my math class. But the town provides an incentive program, and a lot of times you have to make 20% of the trainings, I believe, and 20% of the calls. And that sounds easy to a lot of people, but like we mentioned, if you work a lot and you have full-time family, the whole 9 yards, it becomes a little complicated. So they decided to give you an incentive, and it's based on you making 20% of the calls for fire, EMS, 20% of the trainings, as well as based on your certification level.
Mhm.
So like I'm fire officer 2, so I'll get a higher incentive than somebody that's a firefighter 1.
So what are we talking about? And as far are we talking about like gift cards? Are we talking about like a free coffee at Dean's Corner?
Well, we always give you free coffee in the firehouse.
There you go.
But one of the incentive is money.
Oh, okay.
So it's, I can't give you a specific amount because
Sure.
it changes all the time. Also, like I said, it's a formula. It's based on 20% of your calls as well as your certification level. So
Got it.
but you do make some money. And it's not they don't call it pay, or like it's not a stipend. Also, it's an incentive.
It's an incentive.
This is an incentive that's paid by the fire department. Or
I
is it
believe
paid
it's
paid
by the town.
The
By the
town, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And honestly, you look at what does it cost to, like I said, it could cost you up to over $150,000 a year or more for a career person.
Yeah.
Versus paying you, I don't know, a couple thousand for the whole year.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense. I mean, it's a good thing they're doing it.
Yeah.
I would hope that they even do further. They'd give you some kind of a tax incentive or something like
we
that.
do not get a tax incentive. I'm more than happy to back you up on that.
Well, I mean, think about the future,
Yeah.
though. I mean, you're better off giving the fire department a few bucks off his taxes
Right.
and getting more volunteers.
There are towns that do that.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. So,
I
mean, if you can give a tax incentive to some vendor or some company coming in here to build here, why not give some tax incentive to a local?
That's a
people?
good idea.
What the hell? We're doing it already.
Yeah.
So,
And there's some recruitment and retention programs that are they're financed by grants from the federal government or the state. They come down, they trickle down, and some departments will give you a gas card if you make a certain amount of points.
Sure.
That's out of the grant.
Yeah.
The town doesn't pay for that. It's out of the grant.
Yeah.
And then they'll give you extra cash on top of the quarterly on top of what you'll get from the town.
Yeah.
Something. But again, that's under the grant from the federal government.
I would think as the volunteers start dropping off and things start getting tougher to get people, the towns might, hopefully they would consider doing something like that to get
Well, the
people.
town needs to help, because we have what's called a 2 and 2 out rule. You can't have 2 firefighters in a building unless there's 2 outside that can back them up. That's total of 4 now, on top of the pump operator
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So during the day, we definitely need help, because
Yeah.
unless there's someone's life in jeopardy, a lot of times you can't have firefighters inside a burning building unless there's 2 outside minimum to back
Makes a
them
lot of
up.
sense.
So we need to have people coming in and getting certified. And like you said, I'm getting a lot too old a little bit to go into a burning building 100%.
I feel you.
So you need to have these younger generations coming up and helping out and doing all
Absolutely.
that. And that's one of the biggest things we're trying to push right now is getting the younger generation to take that.
Al Gear says good morning. Tyler Marquis says good morning. Thanks,
Morning, Al.
guys.
Tyler.
Thanks for joining into the festivities this morning. Here's another thing too that you can look at is, and this is kind of what I'm getting out of this,
Mhm.
is that we had Kelly join in with a comment said about her son, with the Plainfield Fire Department, been there 15 years. This could absolutely be a springboard to a career, whether it's in firefighting, EMS, police,
Mhm.
public service. If anybody is interested in something, like in those type of careers, this is premium
Well,
to get into.
funny you mention that because I started as a firefighter when I was a sophomore in high school, I think.
Yeah.
Got my EMT when I was a junior in high school. Then I became part-time firefighter in Montville, a full-time firefighter in Montville, and then I became a dispatcher. And I've been doing that for the last 20 or more years.
See, there you go.
Yeah. I also teach EMT and CPR classes. And like one of the biggest things I also want to mention, if you're interested in CPR in the community and stuff, we also do that at the fire department.
Which is a good class to take.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like a Saturday morning or something, like not very long.
One of my goals is to get it into Griswold High School because there was a state statute at one time that said you couldn't graduate from high school until you took first aid and CPR.
Yeah.
You had to be certified.
They have other things now. There's a program where it started last year with freshmen, where they have to do
Volunteer hours.
40 hours of community service.
Yes, my son has to at Grasso.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a statewide thing.
Yep.
Which is good.
And they have to do 10 hours a year. And
Well,
they have to have the 40 hours. It's actually
Well,
a
interesting you
prerequisite.
mentioned that. If you're a junior member at the fire department, those hours don't count.
Okay.
We tried that.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's weird if you're not in the fire department, it'll count. But I guess because they don't consider you volunteering anymore because you're volunteering. I really don't understand it
That doesn't make
100%.
any sense.
No, but
But if you're not a member, you can go in
Yep.
and be part of that.
you can clean, help us do whatever you need to do, help with the benefit. We actually had a couple girls, nice girls down at the food drive that were doing their hours.
Wow.
Got it. Oh, speaking about a food drive, there's a food drive this morning. There's a food drive this morning that starts in about 45 minutes. It's going to be at the senior center.
Oh.
They have up to, I think, about almost 500 food boxes
Okay.
to give away. And it's the Gemma Moran Food Pantry.
Out of New London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're going to be doing that this morning. You have to line up on the Sewell Street side. You go into the parking lot of the senior center, and then there's going to be staff there that will direct you into 2 different lines to move it along faster than before. Because they've been doing so many of these, so they're learning different tricks of the trade to get people in and out quicker. And basically, there's no paperwork to fill out. There's no questions, no nothing. You just pop your trunk. They put it in your trunk, and you go away. So that's this morning at 9:30 at the senior center, the food box distribution. So anybody can go.
Yep.
Anybody can go. And like I said, they have about 500 boxes to give away.
And we had the fire department do that months ago down at the town garage.
Yes, that was the first one, wasn't it?
One of the first or second one.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was nuts.
Yeah, it was. We had a lot of. We ran out of.
The
food,
truck got
actually.
there late too. That didn't help. But still, it got there, and people were able to get their supplies that they were told they could have, and
That's good.
it was really cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool. So, but I think the nice thing about it is that you don't have to qualify. Anybody can go.
Just drive up.
And and honestly, the way I look at it, if anybody came to my door you know, and they said, "Can I have some food?" I'm feeding them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't care. You can come in and have dinner with us or whatever.
No.
They're asking for money. I'm not giving you a dime. You know, but if they come in, no.
What are you having tonight? I live right down the road.
You live right around the corner.
Yes.
I don't know. What do you want? We could. I've been firing up the grill lately. It was
What time?
It's actually, you stand on my back porch, we can see your backyard almost.
Can you really?
Yeah.
I have no backyard.
Almost. We can see the back of your house, whatever that is. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
You should just come over. Well, we're going to be doing fire pits
Oh,
in the
excellent.
back. So, does Kathy drink wine?
Yes.
Well,
Depends on what night it is.
Just make sure, just make sure that fire pit covers all the safety precautions.
that's right. We'll have a fireman there in
Hey,
case,
you're
you
gonna
know.
get written up.
Gotta
and-
be round, and we gotta have food.
That's it. You know, and you know, you said Kathy, you know, depending on, I said, Melissa, you know,
Yeah.
I ask her when she drinks wine, she says only on auspicious occasions,
Yes.
like sundown.
It's weird because Kathy won't drink wine when she's eating.
Really?
Yeah, it's just kind of, doesn't like the mixed stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, Paul, are you ready?
Are you ready?
All right. This is Stump the Chump. This is a
These are all true and false.
true and false rapid fire questions. And if you guess and you guess wrong, you can't turn around and say, "Oh no, true."
Okay. All right, I'm out.
No, you can, and whoever gets it gets a point. You ready? You ready, Rich?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Mexico is south of the equator. True or false?
False.
False. New Zealand has more sheep than people.
True.
I'm gonna say true also.
It is true.
Yeah.
There is a country that begins with every letter of the alphabet. True or false?
False.
False.
That is correct.
Oh.
Ooh.
Hey.
This 50-50 works out.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it possible to travel on roads from the United States to South America?
Yes.
Yes.
True.
Really?
False.
Wow.
There are
they
no
spoke too
roads
soon.
through the Darien Gap in Panama and Colombia.
Mm.
China only has one time zone.
True.
It is true. Paris is further from Toronto.
True.
True. Africa has a larger area than Russia.
True.
True.
That is true. You're doing good.
Wow.
Russia borders both North Korea and Norway.
True.
True.
It's true. Switzerland is part of the European Union.
False.
False.
Whoa, we're smoking it today.
Besides Italy, there are no countries where the Italian is the official language.
False.
False.
False. No country.
You know where the other one is, right?
I don't know.
I believe it's the Vatican.
The Vatican is one. San Marino and
Is Greece part of Italy?
Switzerland.
Technically? No,
No.
I think they speak Italian in Greece, don't they?
Or Greek.
Yeah.
Agree.
No country share a land border with the United Kingdom.
True. No, actually, false.
That's false.
Yeah, I broke your rule, but yeah, I forgot
That's
about
all right. That's all right. I got the
I forgot
point.
about
Though.
Ireland.
Coming down to the last couple here.
Ooh,
Minnesota borders the Great Lakes.
true.
True. At least some of the Arctic Ocean is always frozen.
True.
True.
We did really well.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
You know what? I did better this week than I've ever done.
Well, I tried to make it easy for you because if I just said, give me an answer, you wouldn't be able to answer.
That's true.
That's
Yeah,
why
I'd be out.
There's multiple choice sometimes. It's a real bitch.
Yeah.
I swear to God. He has some tough ones.
Chris is not here.
It doesn't matter. All right, we're going to break real quick. We're going to finish up with the one and only Rich Waselik in a couple of minutes right
Someone
here.
would be happy I'm the only one.
No. SNSN Internet Radio.
Don't just wish for a winning deal. Make it dish. It will make it real. Don't just wish. Make it dish.
Hey everyone, this is Ellis Dish from Dish Motors. We're back better than ever with our new sales and service center on Route 32 in North Franklin. Everyone says there's nothing better than dealing with the dishes, and here's why. Selection. We have the area's largest inventory of off-lease, one-owner vehicles of all makes and models. You name it, we got it, or I'll get it for you at no additional charge. Quality. Each vehicle goes through a rigorous 120-point safety and quality check. Nothing leaves the lot without my personal approval. Convenience. We have financing sources for almost any situation. We offer on-site registration processing, and we have maintenance service programs for years of stress-free ownership. And now open for all your maintenance needs. Our full-service repair facility where oil changes start at just $19.99. Call today for your appointment or just stop by. So save thousands and deal with the dishes. Route 32, North Franklin. Or check us out online at dishfranklin.com or ring us 860-383-4750.
Just wish, make it dish.
As a business, your customers are your first priority. At Jewett City Savings Bank, their first priority is helping businesses like yours to succeed. Here's what Bruce Prescott of Zoe and Company in Westerly, Rhode Island had to say about doing business with Jewett City Savings Bank.
Jewett City Savings Bank's the best bank we've ever dealt with. We've refied multifamily homes through them, single family homes. We've refied our business. We bought a new shop out in Cape Cod. They did all the financing for that. They've been straightforward. Anytime we've needed anything, they have made it extraordinarily easy for us to deal with. I recommend all the time to my other friends of mine that own businesses to deal with Jewett City Savings Bank. I've recommended them year after year.
To learn more about how the commercial lending team at Jewett City Savings Bank can assist you, call 860-376-4444 or go to jcsbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
We are the future. Griswold Parks and Rec is a parent's one-stop source for all things fun. Town events, sports, fitness, and enrichment for all ages. We love our residents. Let us prove it. Go to griswoldrec.org.
SN Internet Radio weather is being brought to you by Dean's Corner Diner, Main Street, Jewett City. Call them and have your order ready for pickup, 860-376-9141. Are you looking to make a smart choice today? Well, if you are, then choose to get breakfast or lunch today at Dean's Corner Diner in Jewett City. Whether it's eggs, pancakes, burgers, or homemade soup, Dean's Corner Diner is always a smart choice. Call and order ahead by calling 860-376-9141. Dean is open 7 days a week, so come in, mask up, and eat up. Dean's Corner Diner, Main Street, Jewett City.
Let's turn the microphone on. There we go. Take a look at the forecast. Here's Paul Ash.
Good morning, everybody. And right now, the temperature downtown Jewett City is 30 degrees. Could be possibility of some freezing rain this morning, eventually changing over to rain showers. Highs will be around 41 degrees. But tonight, partly cloudy skies, lows around 24. For your Saturday, mostly sunny skies. Highs will be around 38. For Sunday, well, Sunday, unfortunately, is going to be a snowy day again. Lots of Super Bowl and lots of snow outside. Snow during the morning will transition to snow showers during the afternoon. Highs will be around 33 degrees. Possible snow accumulation could be anywhere between 3 to 5 inches of snow. For Monday, sunny, highs around 28 degrees. And that's your weather from SNSN on this Friday, 02/05/2021.
All right. Thank you very much, Paul.
Yep.
All right. We're going to finish up our conversation with what is your position or rank with the Jewett City Fire Department, Rich Waselik?
Lieutenant.
Lieutenant. Now, is that how far up the food chain?
Well, we have a chief, deputy chief, and 2 lieutenants.
Okay, so the chief is Lou D'Amico Jr.
Correct.
Who's the deputy chief?
Ken Comfort.
Oh, yeah. Why didn't I know that? I should have known that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ken was watching earlier, by the way. I don't know if he's.
Yeah, he was across the street actually having breakfast.
Oh, was he?
I saw him walk in.
So now, and you're a lieutenant, and who's another lieutenant?
Scott Walker.
Don't know Scott Walker personally. So
okay.
And how many volunteers do you have on staff currently?
Active, I'd say about 10, maybe.
10? No, that's not a lot, is it?
Not compared to what it used to be.
Yeah.
What does it need to be? I mean, what is an optimum number where the Jewett City Fire Department feels comfortable enough that you have enough members that will actually make up to a call?
Well, honestly, I think right now, because 85% of our calls are EMS, so we have a good, comfortable Not extremely comfortable.
Right.
Comfortable.
There's still a need.
Right. There's definitely a need right now, but we're comfortable because 85% of the calls are probably going to be EMS, which take a couple people. But when we have an actual fire, we do get people, but we don't get enough because we have it's called mutual aid.
Mutual aid. You read my mind.
Yeah. Plainfield, for example, is
Mhm.
constant mutual aid.
Lisbon.
Griswold. I don't know if that would technically count as
Yannick.
mutual aid. Not necessarily. Well, Yannick.
They're fast.
Taftville we use as a fast team.
Fast team. What is a fast team? What
So
does
a
that mean?
fast team is a firefighter assistance search team. So basically, what that means is they're the rescuer of the rescuers.
Oh, okay.
So, like we mentioned earlier, the 2 and 2 hour rule. Should stuff go bad to keep it clean.
Got it.
Say a building collapses, or it could be as simple as a firefighter gets disoriented because you can't see in a real fire. It's not like TV where you can see great from the camera. You can barely see anything, if anything at all. So you're searching with your hands. So you're crawling around on air. It's not oxygen like a lot of people would believe. It's like we're breathing right now in a bottle. So we're carrying a compressed air on our back with a mask, and that's basically fogs up in the heat with the steam and everything. So we're trying to find a victim or we search every building no matter what, even if we're told everybody's out. So, but if the firefighter gets disoriented and something falls on top of them where they get lost, they start to run out of air because, especially someone my side, we're going to run out of air in a relatively good time.
Yeah.
So that search team is going to come in and search for us and rescue us. And believe it or not, Jewett City is also a fast team for other towns like Plainfield.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
See, I thought fast team meant that they came in, they got it done real quick and leave.
You would think.
That's what I really thought.
That's
I
why
didn't
we
know.
also, a lot of times, we call it RIT.
RIT?
RIT, Rapid Intervention Team.
Got it. So, no, Yantic, are they a fast team? Or
I think they're a fast team. I think a lot of departments are fast teams. A lot of departments can't now keep up with the requirements for a fast team because it's more training on top of the initial training. You can't just get out of, say, firefighter 1 class and be a fast member. You have to been to a couple of fires, have advanced training after that, because you have to learn how to change the air on a firefighter, pull them out, drag them out, and everything else.
So, how can they reach you? Let's finish up by telling everyone how they can reach you at the Jewett City Fire Department.
One way is the Jewett City Fire Department Facebook page, or you can message me on that. That comes right to my message board. You can also email me on the email on your page there, and those are probably the best ways where you can get you the information.
Okay. So, Rich, thank you very much. Rich Waselik from the Jewett City Fire Department, Lieutenant Rich Waselik.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, hopefully, you'll come back with some updates.
Definitely, whenever you want.
Absolutely. I'd like to do, pick a couple of topics. Maybe do a little training, like do CPR on the air.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd love to do that.
We could absolutely do that.
Yeah, definitely.
So, if you guys would like to see that or hear about that, you can certainly text us. If you take a look at the top of the screen, we have a text number that's dedicated to the radio station, which is 860-717-3097. It's absolutely free. Normal text messaging rates from your own phone company. Ooh, they could whatever, but if you have unlimited texting, you're good. 860-717-3097. So thank you very much once again, Rich. I really appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us today. And we'll see you really, really soon. That's Rich from the Jewett City Fire Department. Okay, we'll be back at 10 o'clock with Jim Barney. Paul and I with After Breakfast, where we get real deep state. So we'll see you at 10 o'clock right here. It's SNSN.
The flagship for Griswold High School sports. And your home for local news and weather.
Broadcasting from Main Street in the borough of Jewett City.
The Streaming News and Sports Network, SNSN.
The 9 a.m. report on the Streaming News and Sports Network is being brought to you by Charlene's Diner, 37 Main Street, Jewett City. Family owned for almost 40 years. Order what you want, Eat what you get. That's Charlene's Diner.
I love working here because of the people, and I get to work with my family every day.
Come to Charlene's Diner for the best breakfast you've ever had.
That was Brittany and Matt from Charlene's Diner on Main Street in Jewett City. There are only a few things that have been able to stand the test of time in Jewett City, and one of them just happens to be Charlene's Diner, who just celebrated their 40th anniversary in business. How do you stay in business that long in a small town like Jewett City? It's a simple recipe, really great food and friendly service, and of course, family. You'll feel like family too, because you'll always be greeted with a smile that makes you feel like you're right at home. Stop by for breakfast or lunch 7 days a week. If you don't have any time, well, that's no problem. Order ahead and your food will be waiting for you when you walk into Charlene's door. You can find Charlene's Diner on Facebook too. Stop in and join the family for breakfast or lunch today.
I'm Charlene. Come to Charlene's Diner and order what you want and eat what you get.
Here's a look at your local news headlines on SNSN Internet Radio. Governor Ned Lamont announced recently the launch of new services at the Connecticut Department of Motor Vehicles that will enable residents to renew their driver's licenses and non-driver ID cards online without having to visit an office in person. The announcement is part of the governor's broader initiative to modernize state government and add more convenience for residents by making services available online. The DMV's new online renewal option has already been offered to residents whose driver's licenses and non-driver IDs have expired within the last 45 days as part of the